This is The Spot, a BYU-Idaho radio production where we talk about what you're talking about at BYU-Idaho. The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Today's hosts are
Breanna Latouche,
Tomsik,
and our guest host,
Devon Phelps.
And I'm Savannah McCauley. Today we're talking about all things music with a musician here on campus, Devon Phelps. So it's really fun to talk about music with a musician here on campus. And we actually, a couple of us met Devon in class. And you have a band right now, right? And you guys go around campus doing things, or do you do things everywhere in Rexburg?
We do things everywhere. We were just in Arizona. We had a big show there. We had one in Utah a couple months ago. We have another one in Utah coming up, and one here. So there's only one venue here in Rexburg, so we're always playing at that one, and then kind of just different apartment complexes too. So
that's really cool. Yeah. What's the name of your band?
Coastal City.
Coastal City, okay. Yeah. And did you guys get together here at BYU-I?
Yeah, we all met. My buddy Tucker and I that started the band, we met like right after our missions, and we just like hit it off, started playing music together, and then as the semesters have gone by, we've met other musicians and just added them along.
That's so cool. I absolutely love hearing about when people got together and how strong you're going right now. It's so cool to hear about it. That is so cool. Well, thanks for coming on to the podcast today, Devon. We're happy to talk with you about all things music. And I love this subject because music is my favorite. It is the best thing in the world. And we always start with a spot take. We call it the spot take, but it's kind of like our own hot take. So my little spot take today is you can always find new music, yet I believe most people stick to their favorites from high school much of the time. So a lot of times they're mostly listening to that same stuff they were listening to in high school. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with that? Do you think it's a little different?
Oh, most definitely. Yep. I'd say that's very true. I say, well, you find like what genres work for you, and then you just kind of expand on that as you like I started liking country music in high school, and I liked a very specific kind of country music, but now I'm starting to like lots of different kinds of country music. But like if I didn't start to like it earlier, I don't know if I'd come around, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then like K-pop, I started to like K-pop in high school, and I still listen to it. So I think that's definitely true.
Yeah, what about you, Breanna?
Yeah, I think it's true. Because it's like what's comfortable and what you know. So, like, I listen to some, what's it called? It's not emo, but it's like
punk rock.
Punk rock, or So, and it's kind of just expanded from there. But I also have been trying to like branch out to different types of music styles recently. So, I'm like trying to change.
Trying to find new things. I mean, there's so many new things out there. Yeah. Do you still listen to the stuff you listened to in high school, Devon?
I don't. I feel like I listen to a lot of country. I don't listen to as much country now. I think country's great. I just don't listen to it as much. I feel like a lot of it's because like high school, I feel like that's when we're like growing up, and that's just I feel like when we gain our biggest interest in music for some reason. Like we're growing up, we're on our own, we have our own car, we can turn on the radio on our own, like everything's, we own our own things. And so I feel like a lot of that's it. And I feel like for most people, I think you're absolutely right, that it just from high school on, that's what they listen to. I'm just weird. I didn't really get into music in high school, and I got into it after my mission when I met my buddy Tucker, and now I'm like obsessed with like the Beatles and 60s music. But like I feel like it's whenever people like really fall in love with music is what they listen to. And I feel like high school is like really that time. They're experiencing things on their own. Music is like a great outlet, like you're talking about. It's just so important. So
it is, and I would say there are definitely music or artists that have come out since I've been in high school that I've become obsessed with since then. But for sure, my like main three are still the people that I listened to in high school. It's so fun. So fun. So what about you guys? Do you have like a little bit of hot take or spot take on what you wanted to prepare for today?
So there's like this, it's something that I don't like. There's like this singing style where it's like really, really light and airy and breathy, and I just don't like it. But it gets stuck in my head because the tune is catchy, and I just get so mad about it. It's just like, I don't like it.
You don't know the name? Yeah.
Like Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, that singing style, or there's a song by Chaperone.
Things that become TikTok songs.
Yes. I'm just like, no. I don't like it.
I get that. We all have like some sort of music that's just like, no thank you.
Because I knew that mine was going to be really specific. And it's an unpopular opinion to some. I believe that the world would be, wouldn't be missing out if rap did not exist.
Really?
Because, I mean, there is...
That makes me so sad.
I guess it's what rap has become. Like, it's...
That's fair.
Because people say that that's music. No. Like, that's... No. There you go. That's a more specific spot take. Rap is not music. Change my mind.
I'll say I don't like modern rap. I like the 80s and 90s rap. I feel like it's more musical than today.
When you're just like saying, you're like not even...
But here's the question then. Is drumming music?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's like...
So rap is a cadence pattern in a voice, which is the same as a cadence pattern on a drum. So is it music?
Because people like to say that I guess it really comes down to what it has become. Because one, it's extremely unclean, and it's like really? Like,
depends on the artist. There's one that I like to listen to. His name's NF, and he's very clean with his music. Very emotional, but very clean. So it depends on the artist that you listen to, I think.
Yeah. It's like when I hear some people, like when they're those people that blast it, and you could like the whole area of vicinity vibrates, and you're just like, like that is. I'm like, it's not.
My nephews really like rap. They're trying to get me into it. I'm like, okay, I'll be a little open. So I've saved some of their songs to try it out, but we'll see.
You'll see.
K-pop rap is something else. It is so good because it's so hard. Like speaking fast in their language is it's so hard. That's why it's stuff I don't know. It's very specific. I guess I can't say all rap shouldn't deserve to be called music. I guess I can't say that. But if you try to come to me with some music and it's filthy, I'm like,
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't like to listen to a whole lot of filthy music anyway as well. I like to listen to things like NF, who he's an artist, he's a rap artist who talks about his mental illness and things that have affected his life because of the fact that he's become famous and how his life has changed in a way that's kind of negative in his point of view since he's become a celebrity. And so it's just kind of interesting to hear his music that's not, it's not filthy, but it's very emotional and very, it gets down to those really deep emotions, and I really like that.
Very thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking is a very good word for NF. He's very thought-provoking.
He is.
He is a great artist, though. So yeah, absolutely. Did you have kind of a hot take for music, Devon?
Oh man.
I know you didn't get to prepare before here, but
yeah, I think a lot of people say music's bad nowadays. I think at least within my friend group and my friends, we have a lot of conversations like this, music, hot takes and things. And people are always like, oh, music just isn't good anymore. I think my hot take is I think I tend to listen to maybe more, maybe not. I listen to a lot of 60s, not a ton of 70s, a lot of 60s, 80s, some 90s, but I do feel like music is arguably just as good now. I just think the popular music isn't. I think the music you hear on the radio is very surface level. It's very it's just to get in the listener's ear, and it's got the basic hook and melody, and there's nothing really that impressive about it, I feel like. But you go to the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the popular music was really impressive. You had Zeppelin, you had Hendrix, you had The Cure, you had the Smiths and the Beatles, and these bands that were revolutionizing. Oh my gosh, Queen, one of the greatest. And so it's these bands that were revolutionizing music. And I feel like there are those kind of bands now. It just takes longer to find them, and they're harder to find. But when you do, you find one, you'll find others. I think the radio is a little bit I think the radio is amazing, but I think the radio that puts on a lot of music out in the world doesn't give credit to those people because maybe they're not making the the quick 3-minute song, number one popular song, Espresso, which I think that's a fun song, but I think there's definitely better songs out, if that makes sense.
When you think of that song, you think of the 60 seconds or less, that people use
exactly,
for their
exactly.
videos too.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think a lot of things are popular that shouldn't be, and there's a lot of people out there that should be popular that aren't. Like we just talked about NF a little bit, but if you talk about him in particular, he's never won any awards or anything, but he's amazing. If you listen to his music, you can tell he's extremely talented, but he's never won any awards, I don't think he's topped any charts or anything like that, which is absolutely crazy because he's an amazing artist. So I feel like there's tons and tons of examples of people like that who just aren't up there on the top of the charts, who are just amazing and doing their own thing, and it's just cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
That begs the question then, what makes music good? Is that up to someone's personal opinion, or is there actually base requirements that makes music good? Because then if you think about that, then maybe my opinions about rap would change if there really are things that would make, you know what I'm trying to say?
No, yeah, I get what you're saying. What were you going to say, Breanna?
I think it also depends on what people are looking for in their music. Some people are looking for more of the content of the lyrics rather than the beat, and some people are just looking for a beat. There's some songs that you can work out to, that you can get angry with, but there are some songs where you just need to chill and just listen. And so it just depends, I think, on what people are looking for in their music. Because I don't like country, but as a general, but there are certain country songs that I really like by a certain artist,
Right.
I loved early 2000s country. That was top era for me. 70s for you? Yeah. Yeah, Dolly Parton. Love that woman. She's amazing. I'm so sad that she's retiring, but I understand. She's 90 something at this point? She's old. I don't know if she's 90. She might be in her 80s, but she's old. Yeah, right there. So I support her being retired now, but I think she took way too long to retire. That woman is amazing. And she does so much work and wonderful things for great people. So she's a great woman. So, and I think that influences me a lot with an artist as well. What do they do personally? Do they spend time helping people, and do they have a good personality? And sometimes that influences me a lot to whether I want to listen to them or not too.
Right.
So it just depends, right? But I love music in general. I would say it is highly opinionated for each person, because my husband loves metal. I could not stand metal. I'm glad that he found what he loves, but it's not my thing. And so he and I have other things we listen to. We also like 21 Pilots and some pop music. And
do you like Green Day?
Green Day's great. So we have things that we definitely listen to. The emo era of the early 2000s and the 90s, that's me and my husband right there. Both of us love those kinds of songs. So you get My Chemical Romance and Blink-182 and all them. That's our era. So it's so good. Yeah.
That's what I grew up with, because my siblings, we would listen to the radio, and so that's the kind of era that I grew up with. My siblings would always play that kind of stuff. So
it's so good. And I love finding playlists that have all kinds of those artists from that era, the early 2000s emo era, which is funny because I graduated high school in 2013. So you would think 2010s would be my era. Right. But no, I did not like 2010s music. It's not my thing, all the way early 2000s and the late 90s. That's the best. Love it so much. You got NSYNC. You got, the Backstreet Boys, you know what I mean? Awesome. But also all of My Chem and, oh my goodness, so many. Fall Out Boy, come on now.
It's like that, what's that video where it's I bet you can't summon a whole generation just by playing one note, and then it plays the start of that one My Chemical Romance song.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good. So we're talking a little bit about whether you listen to the lyrics or whether you're listening to the beat of the song. And I think that really depends on how you're feeling, right? So when I'm feeling sad, I'm listening to lyrics. And sometimes I'm not listening to the beat as much as I'm listening to the lyrics and whether I really relate to that. So what about you guys? What do you listen to when you're sad? Devin?
When I'm sad, I'm a big melodies guy. I love just good melodies. That's why I love like Stevie Wonder, the Beatles, and there's an artist named Phoebe Bridgers nowadays, Declan McKenna. I like melodies that are interesting and aren't like, I feel like as like a songwriter myself, I feel like when you play chords, there's melodies that like come to your head that are like very like simple, and it's like, okay, that would sound good, but like I like melodies that like push the chords and push the boundaries. Like, oh, how did they think of that melody? That's so beautiful. And I feel like Stevie Wonder and Billy Joel and those people are like really good at that stuff. And so I feel like when I'm sad, I listen to melodies that, I don't know, like I'm not expecting. Like there's an artist named Biba Doobie. She's kind of known for sad. I think they call her sad girl pop is what people call her music. And I like that because her melodies are like, or her songs are kind of sad. But she's got like these happy melodies with like these sad lyrics with these sad chords behind them, and so I like music that's just like will make me not think about what I'm sad about, but will like make me feel something, and then I can go back to being sad. But like I don't know, it just kind of takes away music that like takes away from the sadness, but like can still make me feel it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it kind of gets you back in rolling towards happy, but not there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I love that. What about you, Breanna? What do you listen to when you're sad?
Literally everything. Like, I wouldn't say I have like a lot of sad songs, but like songs that like get me out of my sadness, you know, that are more like happy or like more energetic. So, but like when I'm feeling homesick, there's this actually country song by Miranda Lambert. It's like The House That Built Me. Favorite song. So songs like that. But then I just put my playlist on shuffle and then it just goes through all the genres. And that may sound like a little crazy, but you know, it helps.
It does help. It really does. It helps you get your mind out of that bad place and into the other memories or things that have helped you feel a little better, you know?
Right.
Absolutely love that. When it comes to sad music for me, I always go to Coldplay. I love Coldplay and like indie rock stuff, just anything that in that era. It just helps me feel so much better. Like they're probably one of my top favorite bands. They've been around for a long time and they're still making music. They're going strong. So they just released an album like a month ago, you know, so they're still making music. It's so cool. So I really like listening to them when I'm sad. What about you, Megan?
I think I had to I like to pull up my playlist for a sec to remember, but I will often listen to, again, it kind of ties back to that nostalgic thing. Like if I listened to a song when I felt a certain way, then if I'm feeling sad now, then I'll go back and listen to that song, if that makes sense, because then I'll feel that again and like kind of, this is a weird way to describe it. Like I'll feel it again and like max out. Like I'll just get like sick of being sad because it'll just like bring back that feeling again. So specific artists I love like Ben Rector, Cody Fry, or I'll even listen to like Disney songs, like some Disney songs, like Remember Me. Like I'll listen to, if you want to cry, just listen to Remember Me. Like, oh my word. Or like You'll Be in My Heart, and like a lot of Disney songs and a lot of soundtracks too, actually. Like, oh gosh, what are some of the, I just pulled it up, I totally forgot. But it's honestly like a lot of obscure stuff, like a lot of instrumentals, stuff from like the live action Beauty and the Beast.
See, you said You'll Be in My Heart, and my brain went to My Heart Will Go On. Very different songs.
Very, very different. Also like Alex Benjamin.
He's great.
There's some Julie Andrews stuff on here, like from Robin Hood. It goes all over the place. So, but definitely, it's to put it in like a one umbrella term. It's anything nostalgic.
Yeah, I would agree with. When I'm sad, I want to be feeling that nostalgia, getting myself back into a different place rather than keeping myself in that place, if that makes sense. Yeah. So what about like angry? Everybody gets angry, right?
Would that be like workout equivalent or like?
Maybe workout. Maybe. For me in particular, we already talked about him several times, NF. He is my angry artist. Like if I'm angry, I'm listening to NF or Eminem. Like those two. Or Pink. Because Pink has some pretty punky songs that are like I'm gonna beat you up. You know what I mean? And it's the best thing ever. She's so good. And I got to see her live not too long ago. She is freaking amazing. If you ever get a chance to go to a Pink concert, go. I was out in the nosebleeds and I had a fantabulous time. Cool. So like, she's great. But anyway, when I'm angry, I'll listen to them. Sometimes Avril Lavigne, she's in there too. You know, but yeah, good times. Good times. It helps me get that feeling out without actually going to the people I'm angry at and like punching them in the face. You know what I mean? So, what about you, Breanna?
I like Panic at the Disco.
Yes.
And My Chemical Romance. There's one specific song that Panic at the Disco has. It's LA Devotee. And I love that song. And it's my angry song. And I haven't tried it out yet, but my roommate introduced me to dwarf metal. And it's fantastic.
My husband's shown me a few of those. Those are some that I can actually get down to. They're good.
Right.
They're pretty good.
So I haven't used it yet for like an angry moment, but I want to.
Dwarven metal's like, if I remember right, the genre where they talk about things like as if they're dwarves, right? So like mining things and like doing things like that. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
There's a song called Dig a Hole or something like that.
That's a good one. I actually do like that one. Do you listen to Dwarven metal?
I've actually never heard of it.
Devon, sorry.
I think I've seen music videos of it. I've never like really listened to it on my own. I got to now. That sounds awesome.
Well, what do you listen to when you're angry?
Oh man, maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't really like listen to music at like specific times. I'm just kind of always listening. But I feel like Kanye is a good one because I'm not like the biggest fan of rap. Not that I like don't like it. I don't know. Sometimes I don't. Like I have a similar thing with you. I feel like it's just too far now. But I enjoy artists like Kendrick Lamar and Kanye just because they're really like they're poets and then also their production's just so interesting. And I feel like I listen to Kanye more because the beats and the synths are just so like just blow your head off, and like that's just fun to listen to when you're mad or you're sad. It's like you can't really focus on anything else because you're listening to these 100 different things in one song. So I think usually I think stuff to distract me I think I like when I'm sad or angry.
You know, it's funny, there's a very small difference between angry and wanting to be hyped. You know what I mean? Like when you think about music that you listen to, because then my brain just went straight to Tokyo Ghoul and like some of the stuff that like all the like dance, the EDM stuff that I love is so good. So good. So it's funny, my brain went from angry to hyped and like boom, let's go have a party kind of feel. So what about that, guys? Any specific people?
Hands down, Poor Man's Poison.
Yeah.
Poor Man's Poison is so good.
And I just realized I looked it up. I was talking about Tokyo Machine, not Tokyo Ghoul. Completely different artists.
It made sense with Tokyo Ghoul anyway.
Yeah, it does. But Tokyo Machine is amazing. If you've never listened to him, he's so fun. He is such a fun artist. He's got all kinds of stuff, but he's actually done stuff with sax squatch. If you've never heard of sax squatch, he's a saxophonist who does like EDM music as well, and he's amazing. So anyway, him and Tokyo Machine did a cover of Cantina from Star Wars. It is the best thing ever. Like you need to listen to it. It's so good. But anyway, I love to listen to Tokyo Machine when I'm like trying to get hyped up. Absolutely. I also really love Owl City.
Oh yeah.
I love Owl City.
You say you don't like the 2010s, isn't that?
He is one of the exceptions for me because Owl City is like, I just love all his music, all of it. And he continues to make good stuff, and he's actually changed a lot of his style and done different things with his music. His last album was freaking amazing. He had this song that I actually used for my wedding song because I loved it so much. It's called My Muse. And it was his way of announcing that he got married to his fan base, basically. But it's talking about his wife and how she's his muse, and it is really the cutest thing ever. And it talks about how he sees her at the altar and makes those promises to her. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to use this for our wedding song. And that album like just came out right before we got married, so like it was like perfect timing. I was like, this is it. This is our first dance song, and it's amazing. So check it out if you like Owl City at all. If you've never heard of him since like Fireflies, trust me, he's got new stuff and it's great. So he's changed a lot since then. So check it out. So I want to move on a little bit. Who do you guys listen to when you want to feel the spirit?
Other than like the obvious, like the Tabernacle Choir.
Yeah.
I love listening to music from my mission. Anything Polynesian. Listen to Pacific Islands music. There's something about it. It's like I can't describe it. I'm sure if you listen to it, it's just most peace. Like you just feel so much peace when you listen to that kind of music, and so.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also really like Josh Groban, Enya. I like Enya a lot. William Joseph, if you know who he is, he's an excellent pianist, amazing man. He's really, really good to listen to. So.
Ooh, do you know of Gentry?
Yeah, Gentry's great.
When they came here, I was so excited. Oh, they're so good.
What do you listen to for spirit, Breanna?
Kind of a mix. There's one Polynesian song that got spread around my mission, and I would just blast that on our radio. It was great. I like For King and Country. That one's really good. They have one song that this member shared with me and another sister, and she just had like a very special place in my heart, and so she's since passed away, but I just love that song, like one song. I can't remember the name of it, but and I sometimes listen to BYU Vocal Point. I know that not everybody likes them, but
They got some good stuff.
they do have some good stuff. But yeah.
What about you, Devin? Do you have some?
I'm there too. I like BYU Vocal Point. They were like my most streamed artist in high school. Like that's like I'd go to school listening to them. I don't do that anymore. I don't know why I stopped. But yeah, I loved them, and I still listen to them sometimes. For some reason, I really like Spanish Christian music a lot, and I served in Chile. And so I gained a love for Spanish music there. But yeah, there's an artist named Ricardo Montaner. He's like one of the most famous Latin American singers. I think he started as like a pop, and then he like turned his life to Jesus, and now he's got like beautiful music. He's got all of his children are pop stars, like huge pop stars, and like one of his like his daughter is married to Camilo, who's like one of the biggest names in pop music and Latin pop, and which is like just crazy how that all works. They're all like huge stars in pop and Christian music, but they have some Christian music together because they all are strong in their faith. I really love them. They're just powerful. They all have these powerful like voices that are like I can't replicate, but I just love listening to it. So I like that kind of stuff right now.
That's so cool.
I have one more.
Yeah.
The Bonner family. They have some great
Especially
stuff.
for Christmas time, right around the corner.
Pentatonics.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
They're great for Christmas time. I love their Christmas stuff. So good. Oh my goodness. Well, I want to move on a little bit. We have a couple quiz questions about specific music. So we'll see how well you guys do with these quiz questions.
All right.
But I think, and of course one's particular to Coldplay because I told you I love Coldplay. So the first one is Coldplay related. The rest is not. So, so what year did Coldplay release their first album, Parachutes? Was it A, 2010, B, 1995, C, 2000, or D, 1989?
Ooh,
How long has Coldplay been around?
Oh, that's throwing me for a loop. Oh no.
I'm gonna say 2000.
Okay.
What was the?
Anybody else?
It wasn't the earliest 1980. What was the one after that?
1989 is the earliest one I
What was
mentioned.
the one after? Like the next earliest.
Oh, 1995.
I'll say that one.
Okay.
Oh man, this is like one of my favorite albums too.
This is so good.
Yeah. I feel like it might be 1995, but I feel like I'm gonna say 2000.
2000's the correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've been together for 24 years, guys. And they're still making albums. It's amazing. And if you listen to their first album, Parachutes, next to their current album that's out right now, why can't I think of the name of it? Moon Music? Moon Music. That's it. It's completely different. Like, they've changed so much as artists. They're so good still, but very different. Very different.
That's awesome.
So, second question. For the first time in chart history, what type of artists are held at the top 2 spots on the Billboard 200 Hot Albums chart? So top 2 spots right now are held by what type of artists? So we've got, is it Spanish pop groups, Latin pop, French artists, German artists, or K-pop groups?
I gotta say K-pop. I gotta stand by my K-pop.
That's a good question. Because of like Bad Bunny and people like that are like some of the biggest artists in the world, I'll say Latin pop.
It is actually K-pop
Is it
groups.
K-pop? Oh, cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I mean, when you've got BTS, as soon as they started putting out their English music, like, it makes sense.
Yeah, they're holding the
the
top
Latin
top two Billboard 200 album chart right now.
Who the artists are?
I'm not completely sure actually.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be BTS right now because a lot of them are.
I think Stray Kids is up there.
Yeah, Stray Kids
Oh,
or
wow.
ATs maybe.
Yeah.
So many of them.
It's
So
one of them.
cool.
There's so many. But yeah, they're the top 2
for them.
top 2 spots. So, last quiz question. What song is number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 list this week? This week in particular. So, some of these we've actually mentioned in the episode, so it's kind of funny.
Oh.
So, is it A, I Had Some Help by Post Malone and Morgan Wallen? B, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish? C, Beautiful Things by Benson Boone? Or D, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter?
Benson Boone has made it onto that. Like, okay, Benson Boone went to this school. Isn't that crazy? Anyway. Oh, that's. Is it Espresso? Because we talked about it.
I think it's Espresso.
Or what was the first one?
The first one is I Had Some Help by Post Malone and Morgan Wallen.
Love Morgan Wallen. I remember when that came out. I think I gotta say Espresso because it's everywhere.
I'll say I Had Some Help because I have no idea.
You need some help, right?
Yeah.
It's actually Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. It's still up there. It's still up there on the chart. It's number 3. But I will say Espresso's up there too. I think it was number 5 on the chart. So it's like almost there next to Birds of a Feather. I Had Some Help by Post Malone and Morgan Wallen is actually 2nd on the chart right now. So it's up there. It's really high. So good. And then Benson Boone, I think he's like in the top 10 right now. So
That's insane.
which is super cool.
Didn't go through an American Idol and decided to do his own thing, and now look at where he is. I remember being so sad that he didn't go through with it.
Well, we've been through all the emotions, so let's talk a little bit about what memories we have applied to certain songs. Is there like a song that has a memory attached to it for you? What about you, Devon?
Yeah, probably is. If one of you guys have one, you guys.
Yeah, sure.
I think of 2 of them. One, because it reminds me of like my husband, and then the other one because of like my childhood. So one of my childhood is this version of a song that I recorded. So hold on, how do I say this? It's a Christmas song, so Joy to the World, but it's done by millennial choirs and orchestras, which I've been a part of until I went to college. It was my entire life. And that version is it's the coolest thing. Like just the instrumental, it's very celebratory, and the horns, like French horns, will make me feel things. It is amazing, and I always cry every single time I hear it, just because it reminds me of that time in my life where I just always got so excited about things. And before, I experienced a lot of hard stuff. It was before then. And the other one would be any song by I think it's Better Together, the country song. Oh, Fetch. Who sings that song? Someone watching this is going to be like, I know who that is. It's like, some things just go better together. Oh, Luke Combs.
Luke Combs, yeah.
That's it. I just had to sing it. That one for sure.
Yeah, I think I have a few of them, of course. One of them is that My Muse song from Owl City, because it's our wedding song, so it's of course tied to memories. But also there's another one called I Miss You by Blink-182. And it's really fun. It references Nightmare Before Christmas.
No
so
way.
you should listen to it, because I know you like it, Megan.
Yeah.
But it's really good. But at first it actually had a negative memory for me, because I had like a person that I used to date that was really mean to me, and he really liked Blink-182. So at first it was a negative memory, but then later my husband, he danced on the beach with me to that song, and so it replaced it, and now I have a good memory. When I listen to that song, I think of him and I dancing on the beach together, and instead of all the bad memories. So that was really cool. So I like that one too a lot.
What was it called again?
It's called I Miss You
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
by Blink-182.
Okay, there we go.
So I miss you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
good.
so good. I love it. So
Okay.
definitely check that one out. What about you, Breanna? Do you have one?
I have a lot.
Do you have a lot? Do you have one honorable mention?
I'll mention a few. There's one called Run Away With Me, from the unauthorized autobiography of Sam Montgomery, I think. And we, it was from when I would go to early morning seminary, and this guy, he would play it, and then we had this other guy named Sam in the car, and he was really cute, and everyone in seminary liked him. And then my sister was sitting behind him. He was like in the passenger side, and she was like singing the song to his head. It was the funniest thing in the world. And because it's like Sam Run Away With Me. His name was Sam, and it's hilarious.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, we actually do need to wrap up here. We are running low on battery, so we should definitely get going here. But I do want to mention a couple of BYU-I recommendations before we stop. So there's definitely like several music classes here on campus that you should definitely check out. We've got orchestral, we've got all kinds of choral classes you can take. There's Rick Sticks, which is a actual like drum line that you can be a part of here on campus, and you don't have to take a class for Rick Sticks. It's a club, so you can join that. There are tons of things you can do for music here on campus, so check it out. The campus has so many things you can do, and we do have a Christmas concert that's coming up here on campus as well. 2 days after this episode airs, it will be the December 7th.
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, Megan?
Yeah, so it's called the BYU-Idaho Christmas, featuring Laura Osnes, and she is a renowned Broadway actress. So this will be on December 7th, that's Saturday. It starts at 7:30 and it goes to 9. I believe she'll be performing with the BYU-Idaho choirs, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely go and check that out. You can just pull it up on the BYU-I website. There's a link to I Belong where you can go and get your tickets. It'll be in the BYU-Idaho Center, of course, and so I highly recommend that. Like a renowned Broadway actress coming to BYU-Idaho, you definitely want to check that out.
And December 7th is my birthday, so go celebrate. Come on. You've been listening to The Spot, a production of BYU-Idaho Radio. Today's hosts were
Breanna Latouche.
Megan Tomsik.
our guest host,
Devon Phelps.
and I'm Savannah McCauley. The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university, and are solely the opinions of the hosts. This episode was edited by Bia Matos. Producers were the hosts, with supervision by Brandon Isle and Natalia Hepworth. Our theme music is Finding Happiness by DJ Quads, and The Perpetual Ticking of Time by Artificial Music. To listen to more episodes of The Spot, like and follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or visit our website, byui.edu/radio, and click podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to The Spot wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review of the show and leave a comment on what we should talk about next.